This is CBC Nova Scotia News.
Nova Scotia asked municipalities to support more resource development. We take a look at why that hasn't happened.
Land purchase. Nova Scotia spends close to $17 million for 2 parcels at Shannon Park for affordable housing.
And on edge, vandals target members of the 2S LGBTQ community.
Our next system rolls in with snow. Yes, snow continuing throughout the day on Tuesday and into Tuesday night. Your full forecast details are coming up.
Most Nova Scotia municipalities have not agreed to the province's blanket request that they support more resource development.
Premier Tim Houston has said it's important to diversify the provincial economy in the wake of a trade war with the United States.
But some say the ask was inappropriate and too vague. The CBC's Ryan has more.
It's been nearly 2 months since Municipal Affairs Minister John Lohr asked municipalities to show support for greater resource development within the province. But most of the 49 municipalities have not taken that step. Lohr didn't say which resources he meant, but the PC government had discussed lifting bans on uranium mining and fracking for onshore gas.
But it doesn't say how, when, where, what are the plans, what are the details. We don't know any of that stuff. So it is vague.
I reacted that it feels out of place to be for the minister to be asking municipalities to fall in line by agreeing with the proposal, which I find palatable.
Residents and advocacy groups across the province have written to their councillors with environmental concerns, asking them not to support Lohr's request.
You shouldn't dirty your hands by doing the province's dirty work. They weren't elected on the platform of resource extraction, which is another story, but they do want you to give them the credibility.
The District of Yarmouth has been one of the only councils to signal support.
Responsible resource development will provide sustainable economic growth while ensuring that environmental and community interests are respected.
But Pam Mood, president of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipalities, says most aren't taking that step.
We've had a number of members reach out and just say clearly, like, we're not going there. We need NSFM to lead this with the province.
The PC government did recently pass a bill to lift those fracking and uranium bans. Premier Tim Houston says consultation on new projects will take place.
There'll always be some voices that are, a little cautious about it, and, count me in that category too. We have to do it safe. We have to be cautious about it. But we have to have the courage to have the discussions and move forward.
Mood says she's spoken with the province about municipal concerns, and NSFM is drafting a formal response. Ryan, CBC News, Halifax.
The Nova Scotia government has confirmed to CBC News it is getting involved in the redevelopment of Shannon Park in Dartmouth. A spokesperson says hundreds of affordable housing units are expected to be built on the newly purchased land. Nicola Seguin reports.
After sitting mostly vacant for almost a decade, the provincial government has big plans for some land here at Shannon Park, buying plots nearly the size of 2 football fields to be home to around 600 new units of affordable housing. While the details are scarce, the news has some housing advocates excited.
I think it's a fantastic plan if the non-market solution is the solution. If we can see nonprofit prioritized for developing those units.
The land purchase came to light in an order in council from early March, approving a deal with Canada Lands Company, the federal crown corporation in charge of redevelopment of the former military site. The province confirmed this to CBC, saying it spent close to $17 million on more than 9,000 square meters of land. But a spokesperson wouldn't say who will be building the affordable housing, and interview requests for the ministers in charge were declined. 2 years ago, the Halifax Regional Municipality approved a 3,000-unit housing development at the Shannon Park site, as well as commercial space, a transit hub, and 2 large parks. Last fall, Canada Lands Company told CBC it is working on municipal approval to subdivide the property. It would then sell off parcels of land to developers, with construction expected to begin in the fall of this year. At the time, the corporation committed to at least 20% of the units being affordable. It's unclear whether this is the same affordable housing the province is promising or if it's in addition. McCourt says no matter who builds it, there's room for collaboration.
This is what we really need to be focused on right now, to have the biggest bang for the buck when it comes to government funds, when it comes to community funds, so that we can ensure that we find our way out of this homelessness crisis as quickly as we can.
McCourt hopes the rents are no more than 30% of household income to give more people a chance to have a stable home. Nicola Sagan, CBC News, Halifax.
2 fully refurbished apartment buildings in Halifax will now provide more safe and supportive housing for youth and young families. The 2 buildings on Kencrest Avenue will offer 12 units with 2 bedrooms, each with a shared living space. The supportive housing is through a partnership between Phoenix Youth Programs, the Affordable Housing Association of Nova Scotia, and the province.
And with our first look at the weather forecast, here's Ryan Snoddon.
Yeah, a little unexpected twist in our weather.
Yeah, April doing its best impression of March here over the next couple of days as we are looking at snow, and that snow is going to track in throughout the overnight, and it will continue throughout the day on Tuesday. Temperatures right above the freezing mark. This time of year, it's going to be slushy accumulation, mostly on the grass, but I do think the roads will get slushy and slick and even snowy in some higher terrain areas. Now, we're looking at kind of a widespread 5 to 10 centimeters on tap by the time we get to Wednesday morning. But that stretch from the Cobequid Mountains across through Mount Tom, that 104, that northern towards the northern eastern parts of the province, that's where we could see totals exceeding 10 centimeters, maybe even pushing 15. Again, a bit of a mix as it gets underway overnight into Tuesday. It's going to continue throughout the day, tapering off a little bit, but we'll see that lingering snowfall through Tuesday night, even into Wednesday. The sun will come back. It's not all doom and gloom in the 7-day. More on that coming up.
Yeah, do stay tuned for the good news.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Some 2S LGBTQ plus people in Nova Scotia are on edge. That's following incidents of vandalism targeting people and businesses in the community in the past year. Andrew Lamb reports.
A series of incidents in the past year have affected the 2S LGBTQ plus community in Nova Scotia, and some people are feeling unsettled because of that. Last spring in the town of Bridgewater, this rainbow pride staircase was defaced with a spray-painted symbol of Diagolon. That's a network that was identified as an ideologically motivated violent extremism group by a 2022 House of Commons report. Diagolon's founder, Jeremy McKenzie, has denied the group is extremist. Since then, graffiti of the symbol has continued to appear in the area, according to a local pride group, including at least 11 times on Highway 103, with the graffiti being cleaned up by Public Works. The vice chair of Lunenburg County Pride says all of this means people are unsure of who they're safe with.
When we're with our community, that feeling does dissipate, but just going out in public, even myself, I have a pride pin, and sometimes I take that off just because I don't want to experience hate.
This interview with Skinner took place next to the Bridgewater Pride staircase, and it was interrupted when a person from a nearby building began shouting comments about drag performers at the CBC News crew and Skinner.
It's coming from our southern neighbors. It's coming from.
Are you here with the drag queens? Bridgewater loves the drag queens.
Drag.
And this is how Skinner responded to the shouting.
That's the exact rhetoric that has emboldened the hate. That is why we have to do safety planning, because there is those perspectives.
Meanwhile, in Halifax, the iconic queer-owned sex shop and bookstore Venus Envy was recently vandalized 3 times in the span of about a month. The store put out a public statement. It said the most recent incident on March 3rd included a handwritten letter containing explicit Nazi symbols and referencing the extermination of queer people. One Canadian advocate says hate has become emboldened by U.S. President Donald Trump's recent barrage of executive orders targeting the 2S LGBTQ plus community.
Now it's basically giving people permission to engage in these types of negative discriminatory activities towards members of the 2S community, in particular, trans and gender diverse people.
But Kennedy says hate is here in Canada, regardless of what's happening in the United States. And that's something we need to take responsibility for. Andrew Lamb, CBC News, Halifax.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh is the second federal leader to visit this province during the election campaign. He was in Halifax on Sunday, where he took on rent prices. His policy plank was tying federal money to rent control.
And the way we're going to do this is, if any province or municipality wants federal investments, federal funds to build homes, they have to put in place laws that protect renters. We're not going to build affordable homes for those homes to just turn into unaffordable homes because there's no protections in place. If we build a home and there's no rent control and there's affordability there, well, that affordability will evaporate because there's no rent control.
Dartmouth played host to the first Elbows Up rally on the East Coast this past weekend.
Elbows! Elbows! Elbows!
Hundreds of people gathered in the rain and cold temperatures at Alderney Landing. The events have been happening across the country. Organizers say they are an opportunity for people to show their love and support for being Canadian.
The baby eel fishery is off to a tense start as commercial and Indigenous fishers clash. New rules are now in place meant to fix some major issues that shut down the fishery last year. But as Kayla Hounsell explains, many say those rules won't work.
As soon as darkness falls, there's conflict on the water.
So I've called DFO.
This fisherman says his crew is the only team authorized by the Department of Fisheries and Oceans to catch elvers, or baby eels, on this river. But some say they don't need government approval.
And there's 2 illegal fishers on the opposite side of the river.
Elvers are shipped live to Asia, where they're grown to maturity and eaten. The fishery is Canada's most lucrative by weight.
For the last 5 years, it's been the Wild West.
I got everybody in handcuffs. DFO canceled the fishery last year, citing safety and conservation concerns. This year, there are new regulations, including this traceability system.
So every river we fish, every net we empty, we do a trip event report.
We approach the fishers on the other side of the river. Are you authorized to fish here by DFO?
No, we're honoring our ban, Sibidakini.
They are Mi'kmaq fishers asserting a treaty right to fish. They show us their paperwork from their band.
We have the treaty right to modern livelihood, to fish where we want to fish and catch what we want to catch.
The Department of Fisheries and Oceans says it consulted with both First Nations communities and long-standing license holders as it developed these new regulations. But some communities say they don't want to fish for elvers.
The eels are in trouble.
This Mi'kmaq elder says in his community, fishing for adult American eels is a way of life.
Whatever's going on, whether it's legal, illegal, or how you may interpret our treaties, both our people and the non-native fishery are impacting the eels.
The federal government has now allocated more than 50% of the total allowable catch to First Nations fishers, taking quota from long-standing license holders without compensation.
We firmly believe that reconciliation is a worthwhile cause, but it's the responsibility of the Canadian government, not individual fishermen.
DFO says fisheries officers have made arrests this season, but on this night, they didn't show up. Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Halifax.
It was a bittersweet send-off as His Majesty's Canadian Dockyard in Halifax Monday morning. HMCS Ville de Quebec and its 240-member crew set sail on Operation Horizon, a mission to the Indo-Pacific to promote peace and stability. The ship will work alongside UK allies and other European partners in a number of military exercises while in the region.
Congratulations to St. Boniface, Quebec.
And it was a heartbreak for the Lower Sackville hockey community Saturday night as the Quebec town of St. Boniface won Kraft Hockeyville. The winner gets $250,000 in rink upgrades and a preseason NHL game.
The Sackville Arena has been a hub for the community for more than 50 years, but locals say the facility is aging. But the good news, as a runner-up, they will still receive $25,000 for upgrades and $10,000 in new hockey equipment. Some folks hanging out on the rock there.
Keeping each other company.
Ryan is up next. Stay with us.
Well, it's spring, but it's that time in April when you can get a little winter as well.
I think the calendar's a little broken.
Yeah, it seems that way. This is our daily reminder, by the way, that Tom doesn't have his snow tires on. He took them off early.
Yeah, we
I'll be
blame
walking
him.
tomorrow,
And
I
it's
think,
all
by
his
the sounds
fault.
of it.
Yeah.
Snowshoes.
Yeah,
You're just too organized and keen.
I know.
Yeah.
Sorry, I apologize to all if this is what precipitated all of this, but
Yeah, you know, I'm thinking that given the fact that the temperatures are going to be above the freezing mark, even overnight, it's going to be right around freezing. It's going to be more of a slushy event, though.
Right.
Yeah, it's still going to be slick, no doubt about that. Inland higher terrain areas are going to be where we have our best chances of seeing the snow actually sticking on the roads. But it's likely to be more of a grass accumulation, I think, is where we'll get to those 5 to as much as 10 centimeter amounts. Let's have a look first and foremost at the high temperatures today. And again, it did feel at least a little bit like spring, of course, with all the rain for Sunday and into today. You can see temperatures in the 5, 6, 7, 8 degree range, and that mild day on Sunday as well, at least into the afternoon and evening. Felt a bit more like spring, but boy, yeah, it's definitely going to be cooling down here, and we are going to be looking more like what we should be looking at in March as opposed to early to mid-April. Winds light for now. They will pick up from the northeast as the system continues to approach. You can see the radar picking up on some of these lighter bands on the northern edge of this system already, and I am expecting that indeed it will come in as a bit of a mix. Some showers mixed with some flakes for this evening, and then a change over to snow as we do see temperatures dropping. And this system, again, sliding just off to the south. We'll take a zoom back out before we get into the nitty-gritty forecast here and just show you. Look at temperatures, 15 to 18 degrees in Edmonton and Calgary right now, -1 in Winnipeg, 5 in Toronto. This is the cold pocket of air which is moving in, and warm air surging up ahead of the system. That's what's getting this spring system going. Even my calendar is screwed up here. Now, as we look at the forecast moving forward, so watch your timeline here. Monday evening, we are looking at that mixing, that shower activity, some flakes, and then by midnight into the early overnight, this is where we're starting to see some accumulation. Temperatures near the freezing mark on Tuesday morning, so it is indeed going to be at the very least slushy, if not snowy, inland higher terrain areas. And just make sure A, you leave yourself lots of extra time and space. B, the windshield washer fluid is topped up. This has got spray from the cars ahead of you written all over it. Note, even into tomorrow morning as temperatures are cool, that Tri-County area up towards Queens, Liverpool, even Lunenburg, going to be mixing. And I think the Atlantic coastline, Halifax, Sheet Harbor will at the very least be mixing with some ice pellets, perhaps even some rain right along the coastline. It's inland higher terrain areas that will continue to see the snow on Tuesday afternoon into Tuesday evening. Starting to break up a little bit here and through the south and west, but I'm expecting kind of periods of snow and flurries throughout the day. Temperatures will be on the plus side, which will add to that slushiness and compaction of the snow. As we roll into Tuesday evening, note it kind of fills out again. The mixing still underway in the south and west. Wednesday, starting to see things taper off to flurries, and we'll be watching some sunny breaks to develop into Wednesday afternoon. So that'll be some good news, and we'll be welcoming that sun 2, 3, 4 degrees. So not a whole lot of warmth to be had on Wednesday, but at least the sun will come out. Now, one last look at this snowfall map, in case you're just joining us. So there are those lower amounts in the Tri-County area where we will see some mixing, but kind of a widespread 5 to 10 centimeters of accumulation Monday night, Tuesday night by Wednesday morning. So kind of a long duration here. And this higher terrain stretch across the north and east, Cobequid Pass, the 104, those are the areas that are most likely to see 10, to exceed 10 in a few spots. Thursday looks like a dandy day. Some good news there. Increasing clouds on Friday. And yes, the weekend leaving a lot to, you know, you'd hope for a little bit more in the way of sunshine, but at least temperatures are going to be mild, and at least the precipitation is in the right form here.
My tires are going to work fine on the weekend.
Your tires will work beautifully next weekend.
The bright side. Okay, thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thank you.
Coming up, world markets in free fall. The investor sell-off triggered by Donald Trump's trade war is escalating. It has been another rocky trading day for world stock markets. Share prices saw another day of big fluctuations and, in many cases, big drops.
Markets closed with a third day of losses as investors continue to react to Donald Trump's tariff war and amid fears of a recession. Anis Haidari has the latest.
Markets around the world starting off with losses on Monday, the third trading day in a row where stocks and other investments show red. A big reason it's still happening, investors just don't know what tariffs are coming or going.
What everyone's doing is trying to adjust to this new reality and then selling off stocks to say until they get further notice.
Briefly this morning, some stocks jumped into positive territory on speculation a tariff pause was coming. No dice, said the White House, and markets dropped again. One thing is certain, investors and their money have seen big drops over the last few days. From oil and gas to agriculture to manufacturing to tech, market indicators have been dropping across multiple sectors. It's hard for anyone to know if any industry is a sure bet.
Here's the thing, we don't have enough information. The variables are still moving. I don't know how long these tariffs are going to be in play. I don't know if they're going to go up or down. I don't know if they're going to be negotiated away. All I can tell you right now is if you're running a business, you're flying blind right now.
CEOs in the United States and economists around the world have been warning that tariffs will slow down economic growth. Along with inflation coming from the higher prices tariffs can bring, it would mean a bad economic combination for everyone, not just people losing money on the stock market. Anis Haidari, CBC News, Calgary.
Rick Nason is Associate Professor with the Faculty of Management at Dalhousie University. Sir, how would you begin to describe what is happening on the markets these last few days?
I'm not exactly sure I'm creative enough to give you a description of it. Obviously, we've seen a lot of volatility. It's been interesting, to say the least, how the markets have reacted, and even how the markets have reacted within the microcosm of today.
Well, it's true, and it's unsettling for so many. Anxiety setting in for some, no doubt. What do you tell those who may be feeling the pressure to run for the exits now?
Well, with all due respect to you and your peers, I think a lot of the anxiety is actually being brought up by the media. You have to realize the natural reaction of investment professionals whenever they don't know exactly what's going on in the markets is to go to a safe harbor, which is kind of what the markets did over the weekend. But then, obviously today, things started to tumble yet again. But even in the context of today, we almost have to timestamp this interview because things have changed so dramatically today. And I think that what we're starting to see is that calmer heads are starting to prevail and people are starting to figure things out. Has anyone figured it out exactly what Trump's objectives are and what his methods are? I'm not quite sure we're there, but people are recognizing that this isn't a traditional crisis in the sense of where everything should be dumped.
So, yeah, when you say calmer heads prevail, who are you talking about there? Companies or investors or both?
I think mainly the institutional investors. I think companies a lot of the companies are sitting on the sidelines, waiting to see exactly how this plays out. The large institutional investors have one part, the luxury of being able to quickly get in and out of the market, but they don't have the luxury of staying out of the market. And I think there's a couple of things that we have to remember when we think about the current context. First off, most people thought the market prior to all this was a little bit rich to begin with. So we're kind of starting with a very high base to begin with. Secondly, and not a lot of people picked this up, but when Trump was actually introducing the tariffs during the news conference, the initial North American reaction was positive, i.e. the futures markets were all signaling green, either all signaling that this was going to be good economic news. And it wasn't until things shifted to Asia that the financial markets started to go south.
So if you're a pensioner, let's say, sitting at home watching this tonight, at what point do we get to the kind of market shock where it might impact pension plans to a point that it affects people's long-term retirements?
Yeah, well, my first advice there is, while one never wants to use history as a guide for the future, history kind of shows us the worst time to react is when the markets are in panic. The second thing is to use this as a lesson to think about what your portfolio is before these things happen. Having a portfolio of high quality stocks, companies that that are going to be there for the long term through thick and thin, that are going to continue to pay dividends regardless of market conditions. Those are the ones that you want to mainly be in your portfolio as you're in your retirement years. However, we focus on the go-go stocks. You might recall, talking about GameStop, and the meme stocks. Those are the ones that we focus on. The core consumer durables, if you will, the core companies that make the brand name products that we rely on day to day, they're going to come out of this okay in the long run.
It was interesting. The U.S. Secretary of Commerce Lutnick was asked on the weekend if he had forecasted this kind of carnage on the markets, and he didn't really answer the question. Are you at all surprised by the severity of the impact on the markets?
The severity, yeah. The volatility, no. If listening to Trump and living through the first Trump administration has taught us anything, it's to expect volatility, to expect the unexpected. I think, like everyone, I was scratching my head at what actually is the end objective of this, because by any stretch of not only academic finance or academic economics, but even real world finance, i.e. practical finance, it really didn't make a lot of sense. But he's obviously playing a much longer game. He's also probably playing a short-term political game. And that, I think, is what really confused everyone. Ultimately, what are the long-term objectives here?
And so, how much pressure can a market dive have on forming that political policy?
In a lot of cases, a market dive can definitely help, at a minimum, nudge political policy. I'm not exactly sure that will work with Trump. Obviously, I make no claims of being in Trump's head or understanding Trump whatsoever. Normally, something like this would have political leaders, in a war room type setting. It certainly will have a lot of central bankers in a war room setting. And I think that it's getting a lot of foreign politicians into a war room type setting, economic war room, I should stress. And that might actually be the objective of it, or one of the objectives of it.
Okay, well, we'll see how it all plays out, I suppose, in the weeks and months ahead. Rick Nason, thanks so much.
Thank you.
Coming up, federal party leaders are reacting to the chaos Trump's trade war has made of financial markets.
And CBC's Go Public takes a close look at why some PC Optimum members say they're being unfairly denied points they've earned. Welcome back. The market mayhem couldn't be ignored on the federal election trail today.
Nearly all the party leaders offered election promises to help offset the impact on Canadians. Evan Dyer has the details.
We are all watching the stock market with interest today. We have to acknowledge that this chaos is the direct result of wrong-headed, unnecessary, chaotic policies coming from President Trump.
Disrupting the global economy, global financial markets, by directly targeting Canadian workers and by fundamentally reshaping the international trading system.
Liberal and Conservative leaders both had proposals to shield Canadian savings from the ongoing market turmoil caused by the U.S. tariffs. Retirees, perhaps, impacted the most.
We've proposed to delay by 2 years the time when seniors must withdraw their savings from their RSP and be taxed on it. This 2-year delay will save many seniors from being forced to crystallize losses they're experiencing on the stock market today.
We will reduce the minimum amount that must be withdrawn from registered retirement income funds by 25% for the next year.
The Liberals also promised a temporary boost of 5% to the guaranteed income supplement.
The markets are tumbling again. Consumer confidence is down, inflation's happening, investment has stalled, and I'm thoroughly disappointed he's taken this avenue.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford says his province will also provide relief to those affected.
Well, we just gave $3 billion to workers, $200 rebate check to every Ontarian that filed their taxes. But we'll always be there to protect the people and their communities and their businesses.
Bloc leader Yves-François Blanchet, struggling with a Liberal surge in Quebec, said the market turmoil probably favours Mark Carney.
I believe there's been a narrative at the very beginning of this campaign. People were told Trump, danger, Carney. And when people feel or fear something, the first to present an answer might have an advantage.
Trump showed no sign today he's ready to back off his tariffs, so all campaigns can expect more market disruption and perhaps more calls to protect Canadians from it as Election Day draws closer. Evan Dyer, CBC News, Ottawa.
Mark Carney is in BC as the election campaign enters its third week. The Liberal leader is promising to do more to protect Canada's natural habitats.
The new Liberal government will move forward with 10 new national parks and marine conservation areas, along with creating 15 new national urban parks across Canada. At the same time, we will make national parks and historic sites free for all Canadians this upcoming summer.
Carney says he will reintroduce clean drinking water legislation for First Nations and is promising a new $100 million fund to protect freshwater resources. When asked if his environmental policy conflicts with his plan to boost oil and gas exports, Carney says his government can do both at the same time by using technology to bring down emissions.
Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is also campaigning in BC. He's promising to create a single office to handle all regulatory approvals for major resource projects like pipelines and roads to speed up the process.
We'll handle all regulatory approvals across all levels of government so businesses don't have to waste time navigating through dozens of different agencies at 3 different levels of government. It's not about reducing our environmental or public safety protections. It's about merging them into one simplified step instead of overlapping processes.
Poilievre says he would impose a 1-year limit on approval wait times. He's promising to rapidly approve 10 resource projects that he says have been stuck in limbo, including the expansion of a liquefied natural gas export terminal in northern BC.
NDP leader Jagmeet Singh started a new week of campaigning in Toronto, promising affordable housing, 3 million homes in 5 years. The announcement comes as the party struggles to gain traction in the campaign, now polling well behind Liberals and Conservatives. Ashley Burke has the latest.
The NDP is aware of the uphill battle it's facing. The party is stuck, still trailing far behind the Liberals and Conservatives in the polls, and is at risk of being squeezed out if it doesn't turn things around. The party's leader, Jagmeet Singh, here in Toronto, trying to get his voice heard in the conversation dominating this election race, Donald Trump and his trade war.
And in this time, we also know people are feeling the stress and worry
of Donald Trump and the attacks on our country and how that's impacting them, and it makes them even more worried about the future. New Democrats are going to fight to make sure you can find a home that you can afford.
Singh is pledging to double the pace of construction in Canada to build 3 million homes over the next 5 years, including affordable units, a strategy that he says would cost $16 billion to help provinces and cities make it happen. Now, he faced questions about spending that much money during a time of economic uncertainty. Singh said if Canada does slide into a recession, he wouldn't cut his way out of it, but would end private consultants and tax loopholes to help foot the bill. He's headed to BC next, where polls suggest his own seat could be in jeopardy. Ashley Burke, CBC News, Toronto.
Voters in 2 Edmonton ridings could make a big difference in this election. Both are swing seats with the potential to deliver key victories or defeats to all 3 major parties. Sam Sampson explains.
At Rogue Wave Coffee, it's party in the front, beans in the back. The 10-year-old company ships its coffee around the world and pours it out in a central Edmonton storefront. Part owner Dave Laville wants an MP who can help his business and neighborhood thrive.
Candidates that support local organizations, and if they are voted in, that they really will push hard to see this riding improve.
Around here, every vote counts.
It is exciting to be in a riding where all 3 parties have a chance of winning.
Edmonton Centre has historically flipped between the Liberals and the Conservatives. The Liberals won the riding in 2021 with a 1.3 margin of victory. This race is tight, and now it's wide open. Incumbent Randy Boissonneau, a former cabinet minister, is not running again after last year's controversy over his shifting Indigenous heritage and questionable business dealings. Now, new Liberal candidate lawyer Eleanor Olszewski and Conservative Saeed Ahmed, a director in Alberta's health department, are squaring off. But this political scientist says the NDP's Tricia Estabrooks makes things interesting, with name recognition as a former CBC reporter turned school trustee.
There's probably some likelihood that there will be vote splitting that'll benefit the Conservatives here.
The NDP comfortably won Edmonton Strathcona last time and wants to keep the riding of Edmonton-Griesbach, where they narrowly beat out the Conservatives in 2021. A riding where some voters don't yet seem to be swayed.
I have voted Conservative, Liberal, NDP, everything but Green, and I've lost faith in the whole system.
I'm thinking about voting strategically, just like I have a certain party I don't like and I would prefer them not to get seats.
An Edmonton win means Western representation for the Liberals. For the NDP, these ridings could help secure official party status. And for the Conservatives, a win around here means Northern Alberta could prove true to blue. Sam Sampson, CBC News, Edmonton.
Palestinian medics say Israeli airstrikes hit tents housing journalists in Gaza today. They say at least 2 people were killed and several others wounded. Israel has regularly denied targeting journalists and says it takes steps to avoid hitting civilians. Crystal Gumansing has the latest.
The Palestinian Journalists Syndicate says Helmi Al-Fakawi was killed in an Israeli airstrike. Displaced journalists living in tents around the Nasser Hospital Medical Complex say journalists were targeted by Israel. Disturbing images, including tents burning with people inside, were shared following the strike around 3 a.m. local time in Khan Yunis. 2 people were killed in that strike, according to Palestinian paramedics. 1 was a journalist. Several others were wounded. More than 200 journalists have been killed in Gaza. The Palestinian Journalists Syndicate is calling for international law to be upheld. Journalists are protected under rules of war. Israel Defense Forces and Shin Bet issued a joint statement saying a Hamas member who participated in the October 7th attacks was targeted, but named a different man, saying he acted under the guise of being a journalist. Meanwhile, the president of the Palestinian Red Crescent Society is demanding action from the United Nations Security Council. He wants Israel held accountable and to explain why it opened fire on a convoy of emergency vehicles and then lied about it. 15 were killed in southern Gaza on March 23rd. Originally, Israeli officials said soldiers opened fire fearing for their safety, that the vehicles didn't have on their flashing emergency lights. Videos surfaced disproving that claim, and Israeli officials changed their account of events.
IDF soldiers opened fire from a distance at vehicles that were moving suspiciously in their direction. Among the dead were 6 Hamas terrorists. What were Hamas terrorists doing in ambulances?
Israeli officials have said there would be a complete investigation. Dr. Yunus Al-Khatib has said it is not the time for condolences or nice words, but for answers.
And we hope and we wait for action to take place.
Crystal Gamansing, CBC News, London.
It's an incredibly popular rewards program with more than 17 million subscribers across the country. But some say PC Optimum has been freezing accounts without warning or explanation. One man says he lost more than $43,000 worth of points that he spent years earning. And now he's going public with his story. Rosa Marcatelli reports.
For 7 years, Frank Jung says he shopped smart, earning PC Optimum points on groceries, gas, gift cards, and more by chasing bonus offers and swiping his PC financial credit card for extra points. But instead of cashing in on his hard-earned 43 million points, worth about $43,000, he found himself locked out of his own account with no warning, only told he'd broken the rules. But the company wouldn't tell him which rules or when.
It's hard, it's difficult, but they didn't tell me anything.
Run by Loblaw Companies Limited, PC Optimum points are earned by shopping at participating stores and can be redeemed for discounts on future purchases, with bonus offers helping customers collect points faster.
What do you think?
You can pick.
Jeff Mack and his young family also played the PC Optimum game, only to have his $1,500 worth of points locked too. PC Optimum claimed he had multiple accounts. Not true, Mack says. When he pushed for details, he only got generic responses.
Seems kind of fishy. That just leads to even more questions.
They're not letting people know.
Rewards expert Patrick Soika says the problem is in the fine print, which includes terms like sole discretion that give the company broad power to lock accounts and leave customers with nowhere to turn.
It leaves them in limbo, basically. You don't know at any point when your points can be frozen.
Loblaw tells Go Public its PC Optimum terms and conditions explicitly outline reasons why an account could be suspended or terminated. After Go Public reached out, the company unlocked Mack's account, but it shut down Yong's for good, erasing more than $43,000 worth of points. The company says it has substantial evidence that suggests he was operating outside what the company considers as fair, but wouldn't offer proof or say what transactions were involved. Yong says he did nothing wrong and questions why the company won't back up its claims. Rosa Marcatelli, CBC News, Calgary.
As we told you earlier, North American stock markets muddled to a mixed close today as the effects of U.S. President Donald Trump's latest tariff announcement continue to reverberate. Here's a look at the numbers as we head to break. Snow on the grass, that might be a future weather pick.
Yes,
Ryan's
it would
pick,
be
you think?
the flowers sort of struggling to
Trying
get
to
through
hang
the
on.
snow.
Yeah, that's right. Somebody told me here today their tulips are starting to come up. I don't remember who it was, but yeah. So signs of
Another good sign. Yeah.
Yeah, spring. It's trying, but yeah, as we are looking at what's coming down the pipeline, a little reminder that spring, it ebbs, it flows, it takes some time. Have a look at our viewer picture of the day. We're going to be going on a more brighter, positive note up to Amherst. And have a look at this over the weekend. The birds back in town.
Lovely.
Goldfinch.
Very nice.
What a shot from
Right
Donna.
in the center of the shot, too.
Perfect focus on the
very nice.
bird and lovely.
Yeah, really nice pick. Thanks to Donna for sharing this. Ryan's picks at cbc.ca. Okay, now this.
Not so pretty.
Back to the bird.
Yeah. Monday night, so this includes overnight. Tuesday night, by Wednesday morning, kind of a widespread 5 to 10 centimeters. No doubt some areas could see totals that do top 10 centimeters, but I think given the slushiness of the snow, how it kind of compacts throughout the event, I think we'll be probably in that 5 to 10 centimeter range for most of us, but maybe a little bit more up towards the north and east into the Cobequid Pass and Mount Tom and that 104 higher terrain areas there. There is Tuesday morning. This is likely going to be the slickest commute, given that the snow is going to be overnight, continuing throughout Tuesday morning. And then temperatures are going to be bumping up into the afternoon. So I'm expecting that Tuesday evening and afternoon will be more of a slushy commute. And then we'll have to keep an eye on Wednesday morning as well. There are the temperatures highs on Tuesday. And note into Wednesday, again, kind of filling out again Tuesday night. So Wednesday morning could also be a bit slick and even snowy over higher terrain areas towards the north and east. Temperatures right around the freezing mark. So yeah, not a great couple of days here for traveling.
We're going to get there, though. We're going to get there. Okay, thanks, Ryan. Well, nothing lasts forever, and the hockey world bared witness to that this past weekend.
Try to force it to him if he's open. Here is Ovechkin. Shoots. He scores! He scores! Number 895.
Here's another look at one for the hockey history books. Alex Ovechkin of the Washington Capitals scored his 895th career goal in a game against the New York Islanders.
And with that goal, he breaks Wayne Gretzky's career goal record. Ovi was mobbed by his teammates, and the game took a brief pause to mark the moment.
Gretzky was on hand to be the first to congratulate Ovechkin. Gretzky's record stood since he retired back in 1999.
Also very impressive.
Yeah.
That's it for us tonight. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.
Good night.
Good night.